here first. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey! Yep, heaters are on.
Yeah.
There we go. 3 degrees, mate.
Yeah.
3 degrees on the way over here.
We were contemplating what we were going to do if the heater wasn't on when we came in.
I didn't get it on too long ago. I got home a little late, but...
Well, I will say that it's at an acceptable level right now, but if it had been a few minutes...
I might be able to take my coat off.
Right, yeah. But if it had been any cooler in here, we might have had a little bit of a problem.
Oh, well.
Well, I don't know, look.
I see it. Yeah. And I don't smoke, so...
When he disappears, turn the turban on.
That would have been awesome if you'd spill.
Paintwork's a bit dodgy here, look.
Yeah, I just touched on it.
Yeah, a little bit dodgy there, look.
I think it's from
Not
the
doing
bag.
a good job, that's what.
because the bag's been on several motors and it's got a little bit of oil on it.
Oh,
So when I put the engine bag over top of this engine, now that's shiny valve covers, every time I take it off, it's got little streaks of oil and stuff on it. So I think when the engine was clean before I painted it.
You should have took that one off there, look.
Yeah, that's...
Well, that's a brand new.
Exactly, that's what he's getting at.
Just swap them over, Mike. You'll never know.
He's saying it's covering a boat anchor. So.
Well, I think I got all the oil holes plugged up.
Well, we're going to find out here in a minute.
Well, at least he remembered to put the filter on.
And I even got the little plug in the
Yeah, I did
extender.
notice that actually earlier.
Right there.
Yeah.
So when I go to prime it, it won't spray over the floor like it did when we did yours, I think.
Yes. Glug, 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 glug.
This ain't nothing special oil, it's just okay oil for
Running
braking.
in oil.
It'd be great for that flat tappet cam that's in there, right?
Yeah.
Break it in a little proper.
So this engine over here, I think it's been rebuilt twice since its original configuration, and then when we saw it with the heads that you got,
Yep.
it had the H-bar link lifters. They don't need that little spider in the intake valley
Yep.
to keep the lifters in line. But if you look here, it's got these inserts. Those inserts are from a past person that put the H-bar link lifters in there. So it got rebuilt once with these type of lifters in it, plus whoever rebuilt it at the time tapped in the core plugs and then staked them so they don't pop out. Since then, those are gone and they've replaced them with screw-in ones, and then they put the H-bar lifters in it. So,
Because the screw-in ones wouldn't have been staked, so it would have been staked the first time it was rebuilt
Yeah.
and then screwed in the second.
Yeah.
so this will be the 4th time this engine is going to get built.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it was before with the old pistons, but they honed it again, but it's still 30 thou. So I don't know what it was previously. So it's getting hot.
You keep that heat on.
Yeah. Let that drain down a little
Yeah,
bit.
like we said, John. The moment he turns it off, we're going home, ain't we?
That's right. Yep, we're out of here.
So it's like an engine that's been passed around and sat on shelves for years. You just never know exactly what you're going to get. Yeah, all the lifters should be primed.
There we go.
So,
Fire it up and hear the knock, 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 knock,
yeah.
knock, knock, knock.
Tap, 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 tap. Yeah. Well, these are the lifters that were out of the car. The coupe. The head's out of the coupe,
Wait,
block
wait.
out of the coupe.
They've gone tens.
Yeah.
Do you know that figure, John? Tens?
What about it? I've done 10s in the 8th.
It doesn't say which side gets the,
Gets the O-ring.
yeah.
Mm,
smooth
well,
it up
that's
anyway.
open for debate, that is, because I thought it went the other way around.
I don't know. Doesn't say this side up anywhere.
No.
Not in the instructions.
Why don't you ask Google?
Google,
And go with the
That's the
AI.
last thing I want to
Yeah,
ask.
ask Google.
Yeah, there'll
see-
be 2 million ways of doing it.
Well, the AI is the one that I want to read because you know that's always wrong. Everybody who screenshots the AI, I'm like, you moron. The AI is like the worst.
So
wrong.
and I put the intake on, and it is really close to the China wall, so we won't have to put a big, huge bead.
Glob of shit.
Yeah.
You want black or gray?
Grey.
Black.
He's going to surprise us with red.
Oh yeah. Blue.
Just not use any.
Okay, like clear bathtub caulk or something.
I got plenty of silicone at home if you
Yeah.
want any.
Mike, you're really gonna have to clean up this garage a little
Yeah.
bit.
Wow, it's that bloody anchor in the way, look.
It's an OSHA hazard here. I know. Get rid of that thing. Good Lord.
I really got to get. Well, I'm waiting for better weather to do the car. Start on these brakes.
Yeah.
'Cause I want to at least do the rear brakes, but I can't get the axle shaft out
On that side.
Oh,
on that
course,
side because
yeah.
it's too small, not big enough garage.
Well, you
Yeah.
can drill a hole through the side of your garage and
Yeah.
fill that back in with some sawdust.
Yeah, we can cut the block out. I'll put it
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
again afterwards.
That's just
Yeah.
a day's
How much
work.
room do you need? That's 4 inches plus a 50mm cavity.
Watch it be
Did
right.
you? I did inches and then millimetres. I can work in both.
I was gonna say that's how tires are anyway. They're millimeters and inches. But you watch it be like right in the corner of the cinder blocks. You have to remove 3 of them to get.
Yeah. Oh, don't forget to also clean this.
Half a job, Bob.
Half a job.
Bob, your uncle?
Bob's your uncle and Fanny's your.
Was it Williams, your mother's brother? Is that the one? Gotta get it under this lip here, the valve cover. Of course, I gotta do it wrong.
Chair.
All right, looks like the gasket lines up right at the very top of the port rail, so that's good.
Do you want some...
I'll just drop that right down in the engine.
If you do that, we're
That
we're done for the night.
that wasn't me or you, John.
But he's still gonna edit that out. He's still gonna edit. I promise you.
Let me shove something in there. Actually, I don't want to do it too much because I want to get on that silicone. I did take my torque wrench in to get calibrated today,
Yeah?
so I'll have to use the beam style. So I should get my little bore scope and really science this out.
The bore scope's just to find the bolt one that drops down the intake.
Yeah, so there it is. Can't do anything about it.
Can't get it.
Oh, there we go. That's better. Camera. So it's upside down, but it's good left to right.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect left to right. The floor just a little bit overlap, but it's good. Oh, that's the roof.
That's the roof.
Yeah, okay. The floor is actually fine.
I didn't want to correct you, but
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I really did want to correct you.
Very acceptable.
Pete already had it torqued down anyway, so it didn't.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't because he was in the way.
Yeah. You got a couple of them tightened.
Well, they're not.
done.
They're not. Yeah, they're like just touching.
You
the-
just kissed them.
All right, what do I got here? These old school.
Oh, look at that. That's got to be at least, what, 30 years old?
I bought this when I did the cylinder head, the head gasket on my 1985 Escort in 1991.
Yeah.
I was waiting for on my in 1982 on my 85 Escort.
So that's 34 years.
Yeah. What you doing them two, Mike?
Just going to 15 for now.
15 for now?
What a Nancy.
What a wuss.
Yeah.
Right?
See?
What's it supposed to be?
I got your back on that one.
Yeah, thank you, John.
20 to 24 foot-pounds.
And you can
What I
only get to
think.
15. You win.
Well, that was on the specs for when the intakes were cast iron, the heads were cast iron. And aluminum heads, threads are much more delicate, and
Which part of the gauge are you looking at?
this right here.
The red one.
So you float it on the pivot, and as you go, that's right, so it hits the number, then you stop. It literally bends the bar.
Yeah.
And, but it works. I mean, this is within like 3 foot-pounds of my snap-on one.
That heater's okay.
That's, yeah, well,
not
we're
so
up to
bad.
temp now, look.
Yeah.
60. Let it go for a few more minutes, then we'll cut it back to one burner.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. It's your money, not ours.
Because one burner barely will sustain it with the awesome weather tightness of lack of insulation in this garage.
Well, if you get something close enough to the one burner and it catches fire, then you're set.
Mate, you're famous now. You've been like, you got comments on the videos. Tell ya, famous. It's always better when John's there.
Not to the people who are here, though.
Did you get a comment, Mike?
I did not.
No. Did I get a comment?
No.
No. Did I write a comment?
Think so.
I did, yeah. Bloody rude.
It's not rude if it's true.
And when I see my mate, because we're going out for a curry soon, when I see my mate, I'm going to give him what for as well.
Yeah, it's all nepotistic comments, and
Yeah.
only our friends and family like everything we do.
Well, not even that. My family doesn't.
I don't even tell my family I have a channel. I think I'm a weirdo. You got a YouTube
Oh
channel?
no, we've always thought he was a weird. That's not a new thing.
Patty's probably like, "Are you guys gonna go film your channel again?"
She's only jealous because you got the fame hat on now, mate.
She doesn't say anything. She could care less about us. And I don't blame her.
We don't do it for the fame.
John does.
This certainly isn't that about that.
You kidding me? I do this is fun.
Yeah.
What else can I break?
Yeah.
Well, from all the times in the years past where we just, filmed our runs and the minimum,
Yeah.
you always like to post up and share what you've done with other like-minded people.
Well, you only video and post if you run tens, don't you? Really?
Yeah. Which is every time.
Yeah. Yeah. Over the
No,
last 2 years,
first
every
runs,
time,
I was in
isn't it?
11s. What was I? 11.6s or something the first time I was out?
Yeah, I think you were
Cover.
running slow like John, weren't you, on the first run? And then you picked it up.
Yeah. That John, man, he's got slow.
It's holding us back.
When John launches, it's like, is he in reverse? I've never seen the front of a car settle and drop like that.
I think I
Were you pulling 180 60 foot?
I pulled, the best was a 170.
Really?
Yeah, it was,
You went that quick?
I
Wow.
wouldn't call it quick, but I think it was a 178 or something.
What was you, Mike? 140, low 140s?
143, I think.
Yeah.
Actually, I got down to I got a
No.
160 something.
I had a 130 something.
Oh, piss off.
Well, I think I had 140s in. I don't know what I have in the coupe here. 150s, I know.
Yeah.
I think I had 140s in the 85.
I had one.
Launching with the slicks that
Yeah.
are on your car.
I had 142 on drag radials, lifting the front wheels, and a 130 something. I can't remember what it was on the slicks.
Well, I think we've identified what the problem is with mine, other than it doesn't make enough power.
Driver.
Oh, fuck off. It's the aluminum flywheel, so it either bogs or it spins.
Oh, rubbish. I've got an alley flywheel.
Yeah, but you also got a supercharger.
You're also making at least 150 more horsepower than I am. Yeah, see, look at Spice. He's just grinning. He just wants to hear it. Oh, I'm making so much more power.
Well, did you get the grin on camera though, John? I mean,
No,
you
I
are on
purposely
the
cut-
camera. You're supposed to be
I
like,
cut
you know.
that out on purpose, just so you wouldn't get your moment.
Man.
Actually, I have no idea. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't.
If we can even hear each other, I don't even know how these mics
Well,
work.
yeah, then we don't know if the mics work yet, do we?
If his face is in there, can you put a big blue dot on it when it happens?
I'll just mute his voice out of everything. You can see his mouth.
It'll be like the Canadians on
Yeah.
Sunday. What are you talking about?
Have you not got this done yet, Mike? I mean, how many times have you done this?
Exactly. That's where it goes.
Well, that's a little bit of a.
Oil.
Let me just get. Yeah, let me get a cloth. Look, can't have people saying I don't do anything. Got moaned at for not doing them up tight enough.
I was at odds if I was gonna
See?
grind that off and make it look, more stealthy, but
Well, it's too late now.
yeah.
It's set.
Well, that's going to be the first one over here, isn't it? There ain't going to be many people with one of those over here.
So unless they bought the whole crate engine.
Yeah. Not saying that there isn't, but
Yeah.
there'll be very few, I would have thought.
Well, that's
There we go, look. So what was you saying about the studs? They're too long.
yeah. These are for original 289, but they had the spacer plate on it
Right.
because the PCV went in there,
Yeah.
and that's where it sucked it in. But the Holly has it right in the base plate of the carburetor. So, well, let's get the valve cover kind of set back in place. I did order new bolts for it. I ordered bolts for the thermostat housing. New ones are like $3. And it's up right in front of your face, so I can put them on there.
Right, are you happy, Michael?
Yeah, that'll be good until the parts get here. I mean, there's nothing I can. Where's my
We're
list?
always waiting for bloody parts.
Well, I got the alternators coming, plug wires are coming. I got a new cap and rotor coming because I don't like the gray. I want the black ones like original. Water pump pulleys on order. Crank pulley bolts I got in there already. Valve cover bolts, new ones are coming because these ones are kind of scabby. We got 4-odd spark plugs in here, so I got 4 new plugs coming. Distributor hold down bolt I got from Ron. I just got to blast it and paint it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, a little crusty.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Dude, if you go on like looking for this Ford Racing, this is almost $50.
Oh, that's just ridiculous.
It's like you got to be out of your mind.
$50 for a piece of cast
I've
iron.
thrown away so many of those over the years.
Or steel, whatever. Is it steel or cast? It's probably.
Well, it looks like it's one of those pressed metal things. So it's got to be like pennies to make.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
You could almost cast one of them yourself. couldn't you?
I could make it out of a piece of metal.
Yep.
I got 5-course oil in there, PCV valve. I found a grommet. PCV hose is coming, and the thermostat itself, with the thermostat bolts, is on its way. Because I used up my last thermostat on an old motor.
Is that all going to be here by next week, do you think?
So,
or-
not next week.
Sorry?
Not by next week.
No.
It's already shipped though.
You know when you're looking at me, John, yeah? What you need to be doing is pointing the camera in the direction that you're looking.
Trust me, you are in the frame, and so is Mike. That's why I'm doing it this way. Don't give the cameraman shit.
Be like,
I'm making this happen.
This wouldn't happen if it weren't for you.
What are you talking about, Pete? What do you mean? What do you mean?
alrighty. Well, this is as far as we can get it until
More
some
parts.
parts get here. And all I think we could really do is over the weekend, I'm going to put the engine unstand together. And then if we got nothing else going on next Wednesday, if we come, we could bring a cherry picker that we can get this. And you have the lift plate still for the carburetor.
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we need that.
So I need to look for that then.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
I might still have one too. I don't know.
So we can get this on the stand
Yep.
and free up the stand for that block. All right.
It's mad, isn't it, that we're running out of room because of V8s.
I know, right?
So
Better than 4 bangers.
yeah, this 408 project is going to be a challenge. Let's just say that lightly. It's an engine that has been abused, broken, pulled to bits, sent to the shop, parts bought, and it's sat. Let me bring you in. Let me show you a couple of things. Or the one major showstopper that's we're going to have to deal with here in a minute.
We don't know that yet, do we? Because we haven't mentioned
Well,
the
it's
crank.
potentially a showstopper.
Here we go. I think you can see at 6250.
Even I noticed what was wrong with that.
Yeah. So 408 strokers usually have
A
6.2 inch connecting rods, and the piston with the pin is up as high as it can possibly go, so it doesn't intersect the oil ring.
Yeah, like on mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with that said, here is a piston that they damaged the old one. Somebody ordered replacement pistons for it because the original pistons were not made anymore, because 6.250 inch connecting rods are not really a thing anymore. They were a thing maybe back in 2010.
Earlier than that, maybe.
20, yeah.
Yeah. Well, back in the day when I bought them.
Yeah, right.
So the part number on this piston is 206061 SRP piston. And if you look at the specs, it specs it for a 6.2 inch connecting rod, not a 6.250 connecting rod. So what we're thinking with a 4-inch stroke crank is the piston is going to be sticking up out of the bore by a 50,000th of an inch.
Well, if you do the math.
Yeah, by the math. So what we have to do is we got to get bearings for the crank. So it's got regular 3-inch Windsor mains, and it's got 2.1-inch Chevy connecting rod bearings. Once we get it in the block, once I get the main caps, making sure that the crank isn't machined any kind of funky way.
Like offset or.
And we're going to check the deck height and the pistons to see if they're sticking up out of the bores, because that's going to be a showstopper. If somebody ordered the incorrect set of pistons and replacements are $650, $700, $800 for a set of pistons, plus the balancing and everything that's been done, it's just going to be a nightmare.
And we don't even know if this has been cut down at all.
How much has it been decked?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, the block is reasonably nice. Pulled out of the plastic, the bores look have a good hone on it. Doubtful they had a torque plate hone, and
Ooh, that gets warm. That gets warm. Wow.
you don't have to stand there.
No, it feels all right. It's okay. It's when it starts burning smell, that's when I step away.
So that's going to be the first thing to assemble and check on this new engine. I have a plan B if it does stick up out of the bores. That's not going to be too expensive, but that's going to be some very thick MLS head gaskets that are probably about 90 thousandths thick. So to compensate for the 50 thou out of the bore, plus 40 thousandths on average quench height, will still be okay, I think. MLS head gaskets are pretty tough. Only going to be naturally aspirated engine. Shouldn't be any issues with trying to do that. And those are about $260 for a set of 2 head gaskets, versus even if I got another set of connecting rods, those are $650 plus weight matching them, plus a regular set of head gaskets for said engine are probably going to be about, well, $120 for the pair for some good ones. So $250 for a set of thick head gaskets is a damn sight better.
Or we take a belt sander to the top of the pistons and
Yeah.
like we talked about.
Oh, that's the approved method.
That's what I'm doing with.
So that is where the new stroker is going to stand for a little bit until some parts show up for that. So he brought me what he had, or what he remembered, as soon as he got back to his house, which is about 2 hours away. I don't have the main caps for the block. I don't have the bolts for the main caps. I have the nuts and the washers for the head studs, but the studs themselves are gone. And there's just little bits and pieces missing here, there, and everywhere. And he's going to ship them up to me instead of taking the drive. 2 hours here and 2 hours back. Things are happening with the stroker anyway. Let me show you actually the new heads for the stroker. Here is a set of AFR 185 Enforcer heads.
Are we going to call that a set or just one?
Well, I already opened one, but for the people, we will open one up.
Did I blow that scene?
Oh, yeah.
John's people.
John's.
Let's see if I can dull my knife on the staples.
Don't cut yourself.
Yeah. What we got? They actually come with the reducer dowels, which is the only head I've ever seen to actually do that, so you don't have to buy them separately.
Guide plates.
Guide plates and rocker studs. And one good thing, really nice thing about the rocker studs, is you look at the ends of them, and they're ARP.
Nice.
So ARP makes these special for AFR,
It's not junk.
which isn't just Chinese junk.
Yep, and AFR. They're stamped with AFR on these. Not like you'll see it when the valve covers are on.
So,
Whatevs. It's 3.
Share that, John.
Yeah, well, there's another one on the back of the car. That's the one I picked up earlier.
so
I didn't get AFR stickers with my heads. That's bullshit.
you didn't? Well, yours were ordered bare. Well, you didn't get
Well,
AFR heads.
not these. I'm talking about my old ones. Everybody's got jokes.
Yeah, the stickers for your heat heads, mate, they're about $50 each.
I don't think I got stickers for that either. I got robbed at $50 each. That is bullshit.
There we go, but
All right.
yeah, a little bit of
Right off the bat, I notice the valve train. So we have
Yeah, he
Not
did.
we.
Not we. Yeah, yeah.
so 8mm valves, double valve springs, PAC racing springs. Looks like nice light retainers. And good keepers, spring cups. So the hardware on AFR valves, or AFR heads themselves, is way over the top compared to almost every single other head manufacturer out there. Because there's other guys, a lot of other places have as cast heads, but the things, and they all flow reasonably the same, But the thing that sets them apart is the valve train. So I don't know if I can see what part number is on these. If they usually they use like Ferrea valves.
Look at that nerd.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like NCIS. What a nerd.
AFR, well, they got their own valves. AFR 12,
Make sure you zoom in on those things.
125s, yeah. They're 750, 7254 for the exhaust. So they got their own valves. They're usually made by Ferrea.
It's like forensic files.
Yeah. Hey, I'm old. I'm blind. I admit it.
It's not just you, mate.
No, we're all old, but
So 202 intake valves, 160 exhaust, pretty standard. And well, it does. We'll have to use sealant on the threads for the guide plates and the rocker studs, because this port it does intersect.
boy, he's really turning me on with that finger work there.
Because you get the light going through.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really packing grease. I mean, straight out of the bag.
Just Cosmoline, straight
Yeah.
from the M1 Garand that it came out of.
I mean, they were complaining about the deck not being as thick as the Renegade heads, but it's still not bad. I think it's looks like 7/16 inch at least thickness of the deck. I could measure it. So this is my crazy port tool. So whatever the gap is here is pretty much the gap between there. And you put it through and see how thick port walls are as you're doing it. Looks like about 3/8 there, just from the port wall.
He uses hemostats for this. He uses a speculum to measure exhaust.
Yeah, it's about 7/16, I would say, deck thickness.
I mean, it looks plenty thick from here.
So it's as cast. It's, there's a little bit of machinist ridge there.
Right there.
You can port them, I'm sure, and get a cartridge roll, clean them up, make them nice. But these will be plenty good for a mild little stroker.
215 horsepower, it'll be fine.
Exhaust ports are much better than intakes. So
Get the speculum, let's measure these.
bend over.
It's the nicest thing he said to me all night.
Other than solvent wash, they're kind of ready to bolt on. I mean, you really should take them apart, check them if you want to be super nerdy about it. I've never had a problem yet.
Super nerdy.
Him nerdy, yeah, super nerdy.
Well,
He'll
I
save
could
that for when we're gone.
I could take these out. I would risk damaging the seals, and I would have to put seals in it again if I want to feel good about it. I haven't had a problem yet with a set of AFRs.
Oh, that's that. All right. Well, see you
Well,
later.
I even measured the port width on the Performer RPM, and the width is almost perfect to the heads. It's just this is maybe about 20 thou, so it'll be 10 thou on top and bottom. That's smaller than the actual port, so it's better to have the intake a little smaller than the head port volume. Another engine to add to the list. And he even asked me if I wanted to build a 347 for another guy.
Well, we know where there's some donor
So we've
stuff.
got another one coming. I
Possibly.
like the way you said him.
Yeah.
build.
Well, the guy with the 408. Because he sent out an email to both myself and the other guy for the 347. He has yet to contact me. So I have to find out what he wants, what he has, what his budget is, and how far down the rabbit hole
Well, I
does he
think
want to
he's
go.
lucky,
I mean, your engine is, a benchmark for how good a 347 can get, I think, on
True.
the street.
Yeah.
For naturally aspirated.
but naturally aspirated.
It's a pretty stout,
All joking aside.
that's a pretty stout motor.
But do people want to spend that kind of money over here
Yeah.
to get it, or do they want to go cheap and you don't know how it's going to turn out?
Well, I mean, they could possibly do the same thing with these heads.
Mm-hmm.
That would be one place to cut corners if you wanted to, because I've got the Renegades and those are the Enforcers.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one cost cutting, and then the custom grind camshaft is really not that much more than an off-the-shelf grind. I think it's worth it.
wasn't. But, I don't know cams anymore. There's no cheap cams anymore.
Yeah, there's no such thing as a cheap cam, but it's for the time it was it was good, because I didn't know how good a custom grind camshaft could be until that.
So we'll see what he wants to do. Value 347 or, you know, a decent one. Because I guess they had one built in the past, and they said it freaking ran great. So I was like, well, what spec was that?
Yeah.
What you think runs great may be different than what I think runs great.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for the money that we put into mine, I think it's where it should be for the performance.
there's nothing that I would have done different with yours. You put money in where you needed to, and
Aftermarket block, then put a blower on it. Other than that, I wouldn't do anything different.
so. But yeah, John, if you knew the channel and seen John's green coupe, we built a 347 out of a stock block that I had machined in the States that I was saving for myself, but it was all machined with torque plates and properly U.S. machine work. And then John needed a block, so I sold it to him. We got a rotating assembly complete from ZSR Racing, so crank, pistons, rods, everything balanced. So all we had to do was drop it in. And then
AFR heads too.
AFR Renegade heads.
Renegade heads
But
from through ZSR as well.
Because ZSR specs their heads different than AFR does, because they put better springs on it than you can get.
Which we could go crazier with the camshaft, which did. So
Custom roller cam,
from FTI.
Holley Systemax intake, Ford Racing shorty headers, and Holley Terminator X fuel injection.
Yep.
75 millimeter throttle body,
75 millimeter throttle body. Yep.
and 400 horse to the wheels.
Yep. Maybe a little bit more.
Well, who knows what the dyno that we went to.
Based on the mile an hour, it went a max. The most it went was 121 and a half, and at 3,000-ish pounds, I think I did it 3,100 pound on the calculator. The numbers between 400 and 440. So anywhere in there is probably about where it is.
Is that wheel horsepower?
Wheel horsepower.
Okay.
So, but I mean, it makes sense because they are good parts, and
Well, until he starts getting serious, throwing some pound signs up, not dollar signs here, but we'll see what he wants to build. I'm sure it'll be slow and painful, but we'll see.
the engine or
Yeah. The last time other than the 408 with Ron, the guy I built it for, I need money, he sends it to me, and I get it done. The last guy I did that 289 4 years ago, man, he just took forever to.
Well, you were getting
finance it.
Yeah, I was going to say the parts and everything we're getting. That was the hard part because it was taking so long, trickle in. Kind of like this, man.
You take the cake, John.
This thing has been here.
How many? How many years, John?
Well, this started in 2013 when we originally found the block, the engine.
That's so unique. I can't even predict.
It's going to be stupid, is what it's going to be. We're going to fire this thing up without pipes on it.
Well, the connecting rods are probably your limiting factor, and you're limited to 750. So I'll just hold you there.
Well, we'll see about that shit.
That's what they recommend anyway,
Yeah.
because of the rod bolts.
Yep.
But hey, I stock rod bolts on my car. Look what I did. So
Yeah,
I think you'll be fine.
You bent eight rods, and the
Bent
rod
6 of
bolts.
the 8.
Yeah, the rod
rod-
stayed fine, or the rod bolt stayed fine.
Yeah, rod bolts are only if you want to rev it to freaking silly.
And that's the other thing is this one's not going to be revving to the moon because of the camshaft is limited to the power brakes. So we have to pull vacuum. So because of that, there's not going to be as much duration. So not as much.
Figure
rev.
something kind of neat out, or I saw something on one of the forums where they wanted to run a external vacuum pump for power brakes, and you can get sciencey with it with all kinds of like relays and controllers and stuff like that, but you could just have it controlled by the Holley Terminator to turn it on at a certain vacuum level and then turn off at a certain.
Do we have
vacuum
anything left on it that we can?
Well, you could always add that bus thingy. Where you could
another
add,
solid relay.
Well, it's another controller, and you could add like 16 more inputs and outputs to it.
That's ridiculous.
So,
That just sounds like more money for John to spend.
but
Oh yeah, I mean you got to control the nitrous as well.
if you
That's going to be going right up my nose.
went down that road, that's a really cool way of controlling an external vacuum pump for your power brakes.
Yeah, that is kind of cool. actually. We'll see. We don't need to stop. We just need to haul ass. So
I think it's bit for this evening. We're just gonna shut it down, bullshit for a while, and we'll catch you guys.
For a while.
We'll catch you guys in another video.
I thought that's what we were doing. We were bullshit.
So, all right, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.
Later.
Later.